This is a relatively simple, straightforward video with an overview of the HC-V900 Panasonic Camcorder. We're going to start with an unboxing just to take a look at what's in the box and just some very basics. Later in the video, we'll look at turning it on, using the battery, inserting an SD card. We'll get to that in a moment. But you can see this is what's in the box. So we've got a main camera here all wrapped up. Keep the dust off of it. We've got kind of an outlet plug here. There's a USB cord that will plug into that, and we'll show you momentarily. This is a really tiny lens hood, which screws right to the front. If you have a UV filter, you're going to screw that on first, and then you're going to screw that lens hood right to it. Oh, we cut ahead here. This is an HDMI cable. You got kind of a basic HDMI on one end and kind of a mini HDMI on the other end. Essentially, this is to plug directly into your camera and directly into some kind of monitor, whether that's a projector or a TV. So you can display on the TV exactly what you have on the projector. So whether you're in kind of camera mode and you want to show a class or a bunch of people what is on your screen, you could do that. Or you could plug it to a TV and show the things that you've just recorded to that. The other couple things here are all about power. So we got a battery. And these are pretty typical in most camcorders. There's kind of an up arrow on that battery. You're going to hold it in that slot just under those connections. You're going to kind of push it in and then push it up. It should click right into place and hold itself right there. A few other things on the camera we'll get to kind of later in this. This cable is two different USB type on each end. It's really just used for power. So plug the one into the plug that fits, and then the one USB-C into the camera here. Again, this is just for power. It doesn't really provide any data transfer. You're gonna have to plug that in. A brand new camera with a new battery, you're gonna have to plug in probably for quite some time. Could be 6 hours or so, just to have a full charge. You can see this light blinking at this point because this thing is charging. It's not on, it's just plugged in and charging. Usually these cameras, if they're plugged in, they can either be turned on or charged, but they usually can't do both. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, as you can see, and this is the very first time I've turned this camera on. So there's a couple things to set up here, kind of your regional location, date, time, pretty typical. Touchscreen, obviously, you can kind of scroll through this. I'm not sure the contrast on that screen is super great on this recording, but you're just going to go through this process to set it up. You can always go into the menu on the camera and adjust this later on if you don't have it right or if you lose power somehow. Once you've set the region and the clock and the date, you're good to go. It's going to tell you there's no cards, so there's no memory card in here. These take SD cards. There's an SD card slot right here. Kind of has a little lid, flips open, and you're going to push that SD card in and flip that lid back. There's the lens. Don't touch that lens. There's some interior microphone, or kind of built-in microphone, shall I say. And then you've got kind of your zoom controls right here. So zooming in, zooming out. Pretty powerful zoom here. Can't quite see it on that display with the contrast. The video recording on this is with a Logitech web camera, which is pretty good, but it's not picking up that contrast on the LCD on this. Here's our record button. You can see once I hit it, it says record briefly on the screen, which you can't quite see on the top middle. It'll be like a little counter. So it'll say, 1, 2, 3, it's counting up. You can see it there a little bit at moments. If I press it again, that record button in the back of the camera, it says pause, right? Stop that recording. If you look at this interface, we've got a button to switch between playing the things you've already recorded and recording. So if I just press that, I can go in here and see that the default is AVC HD. So those are the files. I can go ahead and press, one of those thumbnails and it'll start playing the video I've taken. So if I press that again, I'll come back into kind of recording mode here. We're going to use this touch screen here, and it's a little hard to show you filming with the webcam on this LCD display, but you're going to hit these buttons on the bottom until you get to a place where you have one icon. You can't quite see that, but that icon says menu. So the one icon on the screen is the menu. I think the other things are essentially shortcuts. So you got record setup. I'm going to show you a couple things in here that I often use with new filmmakers that I think are pretty important. Record format, AVC HD is the default, but I don't know, MP4 might be more universally accepted. Going to check on your video editing software to make sure you're using one that works well. And then if you scroll down, you're going to find guidelines. I'm going to select this one in the middle. I'll exit here and you'll see. So you'll get 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines now on the LCD. It's super helpful. This is how you should always have your camera, I think, because when you're setting up a shot and you've got vertical or horizontal lines, you're just going to know right away that your camera needs to be adjusted. You can see in here, like I'm trying to line those LCD display lines up with the posts that you can see out the window. So if they're parallel with one another, that's going to be a clean shot. If they're not parallel with each other, that means it's kind of like a crooked shot, right? And so there's often lines in our view of sight. Not always, but often. If you head over to setup, again, you can get to display and clock and reset those things. We're going to power through some options here, none of which I think are super important. Alert sounds. So there's different sounds this camera's going to make. If you want to turn those off, you can. They can be kind of annoying if you've used it more than once or twice. Get out of there. Picture. This camera takes still images. There's a button on the back. That button right there above the red light. Well, if you click it at any point, we'll take a picture. The only setting in here is the picture size. You can't quite see this, but it's like 14 megs or 2.1. Very different size images. I think the default is the larger of the two. Again, you should set this camera up so it's ready to go. If I hit intelligent auto is kind of the default. For new filmmakers, I'd honestly just keep it there. But you can get into scene select. You kind of have portrait mode. You have sport mode. Landscape mode, there's slight adjustments to the camera. The sensor, the light balance, the color. Certainly welcome to click in here and see the one that might make the most sense for you. But again, a new filmmaker, I'd just stay in IA mode. There's a button here. I think this is for filming slow motion. So if you want to slow it down later on, you can. Again, intelligent auto mode, that's where you want to be. As a new filmmaker, anyhow. All right, we're gonna look at this interface again. Most of the controls, manual controls, are in here. The power button, that button to go from video mode to recording mode. You don't really need most of the rest of this. The battery release button is down here in the bottom right. I know it just slid off the screen. But if you move that towards the front of the camera, then that battery can click down and come out. We've got headphone in, which is really important if you're going to use any external microphone. Here's the external microphone input near the front lens. Obviously, it's the same size as the headphone, so make sure you're putting the headphone into the right jack and the microphone into the correct jack as well. In this program, we typically use a couple different external microphones, and we're going to take a look at this Rode VideoMic Pro, just so you can see how it's going to kind of connect to this camera. VideoMic Pro is a shotgun style microphone. I guess it kind of looks like a gun. It is meant to kind of be put on top of the camera. There's no shoe on the camera, so you have to use a U-grip like the one I just showed you. This is not the best microphone for an interview. For an interview, you'd use the wired lavalier that we supply. But this is pretty good. And honestly, the internal microphone on these cameras is pretty exceptional. So I'd play around, with the Rode microphone and the internal and see if you really need it. You are going to need to power this Rode microphone with a 9-volt battery, and I'll show you how to do that. You're going to have to remove, you don't have to, but it makes it a lot easier to remove this styrofoam cover, windscreen. Foam, not styrofoam. You're going to line up this battery. There's a little image on the inside. So you look at the battery, look at the image, just make sure you got the negative to the negative, positive to positive. Put that in. And you're going to put this lid on, usually click in the top and then kind of push in the bottom, and it clicks. Once it's clicked, you can put this foam piece right back on. Then if you turn this on, it'll give you a green light. I usually set both of these right in the middle. We can get into what the other settings are in a different video. It's essentially like a tiny amplifier to amplify the sound. If you go plus 20 and minus 10 decibels is really kind of lessening it. So if you're filming something really loud, like a band, you're going to go minus. Anyhow, this is where the microphone plugs in. Obviously, this is kind of silly to hold a microphone in one hand and a camera in the other. So that's why we need this U-grip, which I'll show you how to use in just a moment. And the bottom of the U-grip can go right onto a tripod. But right now we're going to fix the camera using what would have been a tripod mount kind of here. We're going to mount it right to the U-grip right there. You can start to twist this. Be really careful you don't cross the thread. So if it's not going easily, adjust. And once you get it a little bit, the camera's locked in, you can kind of slide the camera around a little bit, make sure it's straight. It's where you want it. And then just tighten that a little bit more, right? Everything should just be kind of snug. You shouldn't be trying to tighten this stuff as much as you can. Then there's a cold shoe on the top. You can see this slide right in, and then you're going to spin this kind of clockwise. Essentially, you're going to screw it down. So it creates some friction there. Again, just snug. Both of those should be snug so it doesn't fall off. That's what it looks like when it's all put together. We just need to plug that microphone now right into that microphone input on the camera. It, again, is the 3.5 millimeter jack nearest the lens. Microphone's never going to work unless we turn it on. So we've got the camera on right now and the microphone. So we got to turn this thing back on in the middle again. And there we go. Microphone is working, and we got this kind of U-grip, right? Again, that U-grip can mount right on top of a tripod, so you got this whole contraption right on top of a tripod. A lot of students who are kind of new to filmmaking think this looks pretty cool, and they use it sometimes instead of using the wired lavalier, which arguably looks like a mess of wires. But use the right microphone for the right application, and it'll sound good. Thanks for checking in. Bye.